Hello, welcome to Black Cat Chat. My name's Andy Clow. Today I'm joined by two of our Southampton and slightly younger, I've got to be honest, colleagues. Immediately to my left we've got Will Spriggs, and then to his left we've got Joe Merrett. So welcome today, guys. Today I want to start off, Will, by talking to you, going a little bit into some of your background, and with both of you this is obviously, and how we came about that the three of us are sat here as Black Cat employees today. So over to you, Will.
Well, yeah, I came in a slightly different route to some others. I, after school, didn't do sixth form, went straight into college and did my carpentry. So I did 3.5 years. Officially, I'm a fully qualified carpenter, but I wouldn't trust myself to do much, you know. And then while I was working for a small carpentry firm in Poole, I realised I loved the industry, but I maybe didn't want to spend the rest of my life on the tools. Yep. And I worked with a guy called Theo, who every summer would work for the company, and then he would go back and do university. And then one day I didn't see him for about 6 months, and he rocked up wearing a suit and a nice car, and I thought, I'm going to do that. So I rung him that night and said, what did you do? And he said, I went to uni, University of West England, and did building surveying. He did recommend doing a foundation, no, kind of a night course at the same time as doing my apprenticeship, but I was too lazy at the time.
So your apprenticeship in carpentry at the same time, is that right? So
yeah,
doubling up on the
doubling up.
Okay, yeah.
I just finished carpentry,
yeah.
Finished college, did another 6 months, and went to uni.
Okay.
And in doing so, I didn't have enough UCAS points, so I had to do the foundation year to start.
Right.
So my uni was 4 years. Good fun.
Mine too. A long time ago.
Yeah. Really good fun, and yeah, I mean, it was an interesting course. You know, we did a lot. We touched on law and economics and a bit of building surveying, quantity surveying, everything. And then straight from uni, I was planning on going travelling, but a friend of mine had started building surveying earlier and gave me some advice to say, it's quite intense, you should just crack on. So I applied for a few jobs and worked at CBRE for nearly 3 years.
Okay.
And I then left CBRE to join Black Cat about 2 weeks before I sat my APC, which was...
Yes, I remember us sharing some lovely pictures of you doing some handshaking.
Yes, wow. So I joined 2 weeks. I had pretty much 2 weeks where we were setting up the office, and I was basically just revising every day.
Right, okay.
Sat my APC, passed somehow, which was pretty intense. Yeah. And then
just hard work and due diligence. Really, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It was hard work, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was really hard work. Joe's got it all to come.
So yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, you can't wait.
Well, maybe that's a good segue then, okay, Joe. So you're a couple of years behind in terms of progression. Let's go back to a similar story with you.
It's kind of similar. When I left school, I had no clue what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Always kind of been sporty, so when I left school, I went straight into a scholarship playing football. Okay. Like just the usual stuff like sports performance, nutrition, physiotherapy, be a PE teacher if you wanted. And then halfway through my apprenticeship, I actually started working on site as a labourer. My granddad's a site manager.
Okay.
So a little bit similar. We both got kind of experience working on site.
Yeah.
But obviously being the labourer, you have to do all of the crap jobs.
Yeah.
So I'd go and get like the bacon sandwiches and the coffees.
It's not that crap, is it?
Well, not now it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you get all these people turn up in nice cars and you think, I want to do what they're doing, not, covered in shit.
Bacon.
Yeah, so it was through COVID as well, so it was a bit like stop-start. I kind of worked most of it, and then I got in touch with someone, a friend of a friend, that actually was director of their own private building surveying firm.
Right.
Spoke to him over the Christmas period, and he kind of said, well, have you got enough like UCAS points to go to uni to get a degree? He said, what are the entry routes? Go and find out and let me know. And at this point, I didn't even know what the job was, so done a bit of the local uni to me is Portsmouth, so got on the website, had a look, and there was either a part-time course, which is the Degree-Apprenticeship route, or the full-time route that Will took. So I went back with him about a week later and said, look, these are my two options. I can apply to do the full-time one, it will take me 3 years, or I can do the part-time one over 5 years, but for me to do that, I need an employer, and obviously at the minute, working on site. So he went away and had a talk with one of his partners, and then about a week after that, he offered me a job
Fantastic.
as an apprentice building surveyor. But one of the part of the agreement was that I had to get on the course for the following September. So this is December 2020.
Right, okay.
So for September 21, I had to be on the enrolment for the course. So yeah, went away, done everything online. You know, you do a uni interview, they check all your UCAS points, you get registered, things like that. Luckily enough, my college marks were good enough, so I went straight onto the course. And I was actually due to start another job working on site in the new year, up in, I think it was Birmingham or something. And I remember worked all the way up to Christmas with my dad, and the site, the contracts manager came back to me and went, "Oh, I think January the 4th or whatever it was." He said, "Oh, you're going in here?" And I just turned around to him and went, "I'm not. I've quit."
See you later.
Yeah, I've got a job. And then started the new job. There was a bit of delay in the end because it was still coming out of COVID. So
Yeah,
it
as soon
wasn't.
as you said 2020, my mind was just scrambling.
Yeah,
a bit
it was
as to
a bit.
What on earth was going on at that
It was a
time.
bit slow. So everyone was kind of working from home. So it was a bit slow getting everyone back into the office. And I think I didn't end up going back until February, March time properly.
Okay.
But yeah, kind of went straight into it really, and then from there it's kind of flown by, and now here with Will doing this. So
Yeah, that's amazing. So I mean, obviously we'll come back to the bit about Black Cat, which is really interesting how you both joined. But so where are you now then? So 2020 start.
yeah,
So
well, 2021 September.
2021.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So qualification.
Yeah, so it's 5 years in total. So I've just about to start my 5th and final year.
Okay.
So all the taught stuff is year 1 to year 4. So all of the taught stuff for me is out the window. So I've done contract admin, all of the usual modules that you got to do. But yeah, for me now it's just the straight run to the APC, which hopefully is November next year.
Fantastic. Okay, so somewhere in between that, in that journey, like we've touched on, you were both were with CBRE.
Yeah. So
Did about a year.
I had about 18 months at Martin Ralph, which is where I started, and I actually met Stuart Hill there, who works with us now, and Stephen Golden. Stuart worked at Martin Ralph for a lot longer than I did before I joined, and then he'd done probably about a year whilst I was there, and he straight away took me under his wing, sort of thing, done everything with Stuart. At the time, their only client was defence stuff, MOD. So, straight in car journeys to wherever in the country, doing all sorts of things. Really enjoyed it. And then Stuart unfortunately left to join CBRE. So I spent a little bit of time, not on my own, but changing kind of ways of learning under different people. And that's when Steve Golding, who worked there, he was promoted to director of our Building Surveying department. So he then became my boss as well. And then in between that kind of period, Stuart actually offered me a job at CBRE, which I took up straight away. Jump ship. A very different way of working, because obviously before Martin Ralph it was a smaller firm, like privately owned. There's probably 5 or 6 people in the department. There's not much socialising going on. It's very head down, eat lunch at your desk. But at the time that's all I was used to. So it wasn't the end of the world. It was just you get on with it. And then I went to CBRE, and I think in my first week I was on the yacht and jet ski, and I was like,
Yeah, we were.
Jesus, this is this is different.
Where was this yacht?
In the harbour.
Okay,
Southampton.
one advantage of being on the south coast,
Yeah.
you've not been jetting off to
Yeah.
Maldives or something.
Not yet.
Not quite.
No.
That's more
Yeah,
okay.
and then
maybe one day.
that's
Next
where I
year,
met
right?
Will.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
met Will at Black
So
Cat.
you're both working in the same team at CBRE.
Yeah.
Yes.
joined-
Well,
Okay.
same team, but you were predominantly MOD,
yeah.
and I was commercial.
Right. Okay. And you're not there anymore.
Not there anymore.
So how did that happen?
Well,
Probably about 18 months again from that point.
Yeah, well, it was I've been on for just over a year. We've both been on for just over a year.
I think it was March 24. It it happened probably January, February. There was a bit of a lead up to it happening, wasn't there?
We had notice and whatnot to serve.
Right.
And joined last June.
Yeah, last
June. Straight into it, no office. It was very different.
Yes.
Obviously, like I say, I sat my APC, so I got that out of the way, and then had a week holiday.
Yeah.
And then came back and was like, right, what's this Black Cat then? and then it was well, it's been very different, but it's quickly become normal. Obviously.
Yeah.
I think
how it goes.
it came from mainly, and I think people have touched on it before, the bonus system in CBRE.
Yeah.
And there was people that weren't happy, end of year reviews, not getting what they thought they should have got, and for us, we were in a scheme at the time, so we could only get paid X amount. You get an increase every 6 months with
it's all set.
a bonus at the end, which is very limited. And for us, it wasn't really much of an issue because we were always progressing, and we'd get there eventually when it comes to the right time. I think, but for the senior guys, it was more something to look at. And it became more of a team thing rather than a one-off thing, which is why we all went to the meetings, February, I think? It was quite early on, wasn't it? I remember all going...
With Black Cat.
With Black Cat, so we met with Barnsley.
I've heard the stories, maybe I've heard it from yourselves as well as speaking with Stephen and Barnsley and Ben over the years. And you guys had only really joined quite a short period of time before I joined as well, and as part of why I was attracted to the business in a completely different part. I'm not on this fee owner bonus model or anything, but just to understand how that business worked, and it was such a baller move to take a whole team. That's how, for me, from an external perspective, I was like, that's an amazing coup to go after essentially a team of talent in a region that we don't currently have any real impact in. We've got one or two people that could reach there, but to really to go and grab you guys. So that must have been, especially in early stages of your career, like, well, you wouldn't necessarily know it's not normal.
No.
It really isn't, in my experience, normal. Yeah, you buy a company, and you get a team.
Yeah.
But you don't just get the team and attract it that way. So how was that for you guys when someone gives you, talk us through that, how the original conversations came through to you?
Well, it was we had a meeting, we were all told kind of a bit about the company, because I have to admit, I remember once I was going to a site survey with Rob, who we used to work with, and he mentioned this crazy company called Black Cat, and I remember this conversation so well because I thought, oh wow, that's a really interesting idea. He kind of explained the scenario. It was because Rob Green from the Birmingham office had left CBRE, and we were in contact with Rob Green a bit. So then when he left, I said, oh, where was he going? And I remember hearing this story about Black Cat. I thought, oh, that's very interesting. And I remember at the time thinking, oh, that'd be good to do one day. I envisioned working for Black Cat down the line once I was established, because obviously you hear it was direct.
It's the Black Cat normal. Yeah,
exactly. And then when it came up and we heard a bit about it and heard the potential and the salary and how everything you paid and the bonus system, and it was just extremely exciting. It was, wasn't it? It was, when we heard it all, I remember I was like, that's pretty good. And it was exciting, and it basically, well, I don't know if anyone knows this yet, but I was going to go travelling instead. Well, as soon as I passed my APC. So I thought to myself, because
another opportunity. And
I thought I'd go travelling and see the world and do what all of my friends have done. But then this opportunity came up, and it felt too good to pass up. And now I guess I've got the best of both worlds, where I've got probably enough money to do a bit of both, and maybe take a sabbatical down the line, or just go on nicer holidays. And
having I remember last time I went to kind of the Far East, if you like, and I was only there for 2 weeks, but I was with a mate of mine, and then we met some people who were travelling, and it was like, that's right, I'll pay for this round of drinks, because I've got some money, because these guys are really having to go their entire for a year kind of thing. So actually putting yourself in that position, just have some wicked holidays. Holidays. And obviously Black Cat, we have an unlimited holiday scheme. Don't think it'll probably cover 6 months, but
Well, we'll see. I'll let you know next
year.
Give it a go. Either I'll get let go, or
I don't think you get the bonus scheme though. That's the problem, right? Well, for that,
exactly.
That makes sense. So So how many within the Southampton team now?
So it's me, Stuart, Dom, Steve, Ellie, Will, Ben, Simon, Nicky.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah. So that's grown quite and quite significantly.
It's changed. The face is it's not the same. It's not the original team that kind of
came
the
over.
large core of it is.
Doesn't work
obviously.
for everyone,
No.
But okay. And then in terms of the project work, now you've mentioned MOD. We as Black Cat do work with some defence stuff. It's all a bit hush-hush. We can't talk about anything in particular.
I'll have to kill you.
And exactly, it was making me a bit nervous. I've already spoken to Stuart once today. I'm like, oh dear, I'm in trouble. But I think in terms of our opportunities in that part of the world, that does sound great that we've managed to work with those departments and etc. So what other things are on the horizon in Southampton and that part of the world?
We've got a couple of clients that came across with us from CBRE. I mean, I personally have been working on trying to get some of my own clients, which means a lot of fun networking events.
Business development.
Business development, which is new because I didn't do anything like that at CBRE. I mean, I was also training from APC and trying to learn, and
of course,
sometimes it's too many things at once. So now I've obviously passed and focusing on billing, and I can finally get to go and do some things I like, which is talking to people and trying to speak to as many people as I can. So I had a goal of trying to win some clients in Bournemouth, where I live. Bournemouth, Poole, Dorset, just because it saves driving all the way across the country and whatnot.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I've been working on a few little clients. We've got some industrial units, my first office. So looking from delapse through to hopefully contract admin towards the end. But yeah, there's quite a lot on. We've got quite a few clients Southampton, but we also work with London fairly closely and come.
Of course you do. Yeah.
Anything outside the M25 we might look at.
Yeah.
But also I've been working in Rathbone Place, right in the centre of London, so we kind of get stuck in wherever.
That's great.
Wherever we can. I always like coming up to London.
So in terms of you've qualified, Joe. Now you're looking forward to that next year. And
Were you looking forward to it?
I don't know about looking forward to it. Looking forward to it being over.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. How do you find it's different then, being within that? So I suppose one of the exciting things for me about sitting down with you guys is embracing the future of Black Cat and getting away from it being exclusively this club of incredibly experienced people up and down the country, to have the youth come through, and so we can really grow the business. You can't grow it without the roots coming through. And so if we were talking to other young people, whether they're still at school age or whether, I'm saying young in career terms, somebody in their 30s, whatever, that are considering a change of direction, how do you feel this industry is so valuable and worth getting into, or do you feel that?
Well, I definitely do.
Yeah.
I think it's talking about the physical job of building surveying, it's a bit of everything. You're in the office for a few days, maybe you're on site, maybe you're at a dinner, maybe in terms of the physical job, it's a very diverse.
Maybe you're playing football randomly at a Premier League club like we did.
Exactly, and you saw my goal, didn't you?
We won't talk about that.
And my slightly broken rib, but it's kind of cleared up now about 3 months later. But that's my fault.
I tell people about that day, actually. That was a cool bit. When else would you get the experience to go and... I think that's the first time I've ever played football, let alone playing.
We were guests of
Kingsley.
Thank you. Yeah, no, they were very hospitable, and I don't quite know how I ended up playing in it. I think we just lack of numbers.
Your son played as well.
Even my 12-year-old son played, and he was.
He was really good.
He was better than me, but that's not a surprise. But yeah, no. So yeah, there are the opportunities.
Yeah, it's great opportunities. But then the work, specifically at Black Cat, the work-life balance is pretty much yourself and how you make it, and. There are times where I find myself working loads, but vice versa, then it might be because I've done that work, you manage your own time, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's not the case everywhere, I know for sure.
No.
But yeah, I mean, there's two routes that you can do, but I'm sure you can do.
You can do conversion courses as well.
That's it. So
okay, what's that? I don't know.
One of our old colleagues had done one degree. Let's say it was, I don't know what it was. Say it was maths, and then they do an additional year at uni.
Okay.
You can go and do like a master's almost.
Yeah.
Right.
In building surveying, so it's a singular year, pretty intense, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And then you would start on the grad scheme, so similar to what I did.
Okay.
But like I said, I mean, Joe's route is completely different to my route, and if I am myself now, I would do Joe's because it was an apprenticeship. You're getting paid. The whole course is paid for. I mean, I've got a lot of debt that I don't know if I'll ever pay off.
That as a father of two boys, that are going to be coming to a career at some time. And like, the older one, he can play football. He's not going to be a pro footballer, and that's fine. So, he's got to think about opportunities. And I think I actually got him to speak to you, Joe, when we were there, whether or not he was paying any attention, but definitely you spoke. So, and just to really start looking at future opportunities that aren't a straightforward degree route. Now, I'm old enough and I'm lucky enough that I went to university for free, and I got a grant. I was the last year of that, but I got that grant. And, I graduated in 2000. And it was, but it meant that a lot of people kind of misused university. It's like, I'm going to go to uni because I can. It means I don't have to go and get a job. I don't have to crack on with things. I did a vocational degree. I did a degree in design, which kind of makes sense considering I've actually still got a career that is at least adjacent to that. Not everyone does. But since then, the change of the fees ratcheting up, and I don't even want to imagine how much young people end up with when they enter jobs. Now, I know that the pay returning of that is only after a certain amount, etc., etc. But it's still, from a mental health perspective, looking at a sheet of paper somewhere or a spreadsheet somewhere and seeing I'm not solvent, I've got X in the minus column for however many years. So actually the opportunity to do the apprenticeship route, I'd definitely tell my kids to look seriously into that, because you can get proper jobs.
They do support you very well. I mean, especially now I'm going into my last year. I'm very lucky that I've got Black Cat and everyone within the company to support me on the APC as well, but they set up their 5th year solely dedicated to helping you get through your APC. So they'll set up mock interviews.
Right.
They'll look through all of your submissions, your case studies, and everything as well. So I almost kind of get double bubble of both, work and uni, both help me support it. So
and like we've worked with younger people in apprenticeships and stuff like that, but we're not a big firm that have got all of this, departments doing it. So you are actually getting the time with the top pros in the business. We're not employing somebody to come in and help you through. You're literally working with, the top board, right? Everyone throughout the business, I'm sure, is available if you've not spent time with them, which is great, and I think we will be welcoming, more and more people through your kind of route as the company grows, whether it's area-wise, whether we've, specialisms or just, anything like that. So, no, I'm really pleased to hear how well it's going. And so one thing that I suppose, Joe, is that I know that Black Cat have a great offering once you are a professional, but how do we keep you guys on and stop you going elsewhere? What's the incentive within? I don't know, with any apprenticeship, how do you go, oh, I've done that, thanks very much?
You mean once
you've qualified?
Once you've qualified.
I think the difference between working for someone like CBRE, we were always stuck. There was no, you had to wait, you were locked in, there was no way out of it until you got to that point. We're both lucky here that, and we at CBRE, we were both valued by our team, which is why we came across. So of course, we were fine from that aspect. You're a part of a big company that if you went to a meeting, they probably wouldn't even know who you are. But here, everyone knows everyone, so it's a lot more easy to kind of communicate. Like, say we come up and had a chat with you. So there's that aspect of feeling valued more, and also like there's no limit on what you can earn.
No.
Yes.
So like Will said, if you want to work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, then it's only your pocket gets bigger. For us as well, like we don't have kids. Will's just bought a house. I want to buy a house eventually. So time for us is probably, not as limited as some others within the company. So, we can put a few more hours in and then get the rewards of it at the end of the day, where, if you were to do that at CBRE, there's no real benefit to it, really.
I think as well, quite often younger people, they will job switch just to get promotion.
Absolutely.
So from surveyor to senior surveyor to associate director, whatever it is. However, who was it recently that got promoted just like that? It was like a 5-minute conversation, an email sent to Stephen and Ben, and that person was promoted there and then. To try and get that at other big companies, from what I understand, is a process. You know, to become a director, sometimes you've got to put together pitches and multiple interviews with different people and this and that, and just that ability to work well and try to get promoted internally rather than just job jumping.
Yeah.
I hope it will keep us. I mean,
Yeah,
I've recently had a conversation with Simon Wilkinson, who's now our office lead, about my progression and where I've got to be. And you know, I didn't expect it to come back so quickly. The next day, we had a conversation, just saying, hopefully, you know, by the end, autumn time, if I do this, this, and this, then we should be looking at some progression, which is great.
Of course it is, yeah.
You know, and at I don't like to name names, but other companies, I can imagine, just to get to that.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay.
Beep it out. But just to get to that, to get a conversation.
Yeah.
There's so many more.
Of course there are, and I think, but you know, there is a direct comparison in terms of many other smaller companies where this does not happen either.
No.
You know, so it doesn't matter where you are. I think within the Black Cat model, with as we refer to it as, and with that normal kind of senior recruitment, that director level recruitment that we normally have, that we do and have done over the last 10 years, it is showing a way that actually we're still delivering as a company. We're still delivering that to you guys, and getting the right talent in, you know, rather than finding a job hopper who's kind of, you know, done.
I think you've also got to be the right person, right type of person.
Yeah.
You know, people don't always work out in their roles. We've had, since we've joined, there's been a few people come and go. So
yes.
You can offer almost anything, but sometimes it's down to that person. You know, and I think. We get our Southampton office, we're all kind of similar sort of people.
Yeah.
We all like work, like what we do. We just kind of get on with it.
That's key.
And I think that's why we probably get on well within the company as well.
Yeah. It's entrepreneurial spirit, I think. That's what I see when I sit here with people over the past few months that we've been doing these recordings. It's those individuals who take responsibility for what they want to achieve and have the backing of Black Cat just in the background, doing all the insurance stuff, making sure all the admin, making sure there's marketing stuff all done. But you guys can go out there and essentially be your own businesses in a lot of ways. And you know, you talking of building, you know, your own portfolio within the portfolio, and it's that real opportunity to see how you grow as individuals, you know, within Black Cat, and that makes us stronger and better. So I think that there, I feel like, is a very good kind of natural conclusion to this chat. I'd love to get you back in here, you know, in the future, maybe individually or with someone else from the team. Maybe if we do some of the do stuff, and we can have a little bit of chat about that, but who knows. So just to say thanks, Joe, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
We look forward to welcoming you back next time. Thanks very much.